The Middle of the Pack podcast.
I'm going out for the enjoyment of the party. You know, I'm not going out I'm never going to be racing for Ireland. So it's just important to me that I finish it, but I finish it healthy and I finish it fueled.
Welcome to episode 30 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. And there you have Tara Wilson talking about being healthy and fueled when she finishes a race. And we will find out how she does that in a race that's really dedicated to her run at Donadea, 50k, 50 kilometre, and her passion for real food running. So find out all about that on this up and coming episode number 30 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. We start off with Tara talking about the race at Donadea. What have you been up to since I saw you last? You must have had a few.
No, actually, it's really, really funny because that was the first this year. And it's a very interesting story because I was supposed to run Donadea last year in 2025, but I just had so many injuries, and I was coming back off the back of 15 marathons in 5 years. So my body was spent. So I made the decision not to do it in 2025, and I handed the place back. And I said, I'm going to concentrate on halves in 2025, which is what I did. And then I had a great Christmas and I had a great New Year, as you do. And I enjoyed the wine and the mince pies. And the 1st of January came and I was like, well, I have to make a decision now. Am I going to do it in 2026? And it's kind of one of those things. Donadea is a beast. It's not for the faint-hearted. So I had a decision to make and I just turned around. I always set myself one goal every year, Pádraig. And I say to myself every year, I'm going to do one thing that scares me. I'm going to step outside my comfort zone. In 2025, I did the Triana Trail in the Canaries, which was that night run up in the mountains. So that was my one step outside your comfort zone goal.
Yeah.
So this year I said, okay, Tara, you've got one goal every year. Let's do this. So on the 1st of January, I went out. Now, bear in mind, I hadn't ran any long runs since Valencia in October. That was my last long run. So I went out on the 1st of January because I said there's a decision to be made here. And I did 21k. And I came back and I felt all right. And then I said, there's a difference between 21k and 50k. So I texted my good friend Tom. And he had done Donadea. He ran it twice already. This year was his 3rd year. And nobody knew I'd signed up. Nobody knew I was doing it. I kept it under wraps. And I said, Tom, I'm thinking of doing Donadea. And the reason why I didn't tell anyone was because I was supposed to do it the previous year and I didn't do it. So I didn't want to have that pressure on me. So I told nobody. So I texted Tom and I said, I think I'm going to give it a go. Will you come out and do a recce with me on the course? So that Saturday, he met me. We 8:30 on Donadea, and I'll never forget it, Pádraig. It was the 2nd week in January. The lake was frozen over. I'm not messing with you. It was that cold, and the ground was crunchy. And we did a couple of loops together. And he says, Tara, he said, you'll do it. And I was like, I'm not so sure. And he said, you've got a lot of marathons and you've got a lot of experience. It's only 8 more K. And he said, just get your fitness back up, because bear in mind, I hadn't really ran long run since October. He said, just get your fitness back up. So I had literally 4 weeks to get my fitness back up. And I knew I'm not going to do this on fitness alone. So if I'm going to do this, I have to do it right. And that means not only fitness, but it means fueling and hydration. So I had to get my fueling and hydration 100 nailed down. I had gained about a stone of weight since not running long runs anymore. And I thought to myself, will I try and shed some weight here? This is a good opportunity. And then I thought to myself, no, I'm going to need to eat a lot for these long runs. And I need to fuel my body. So I look at my body as like a car engine. And if I don't put diesel or petrol into it, it's not going to get me where I need to go. So that was the first thing. So I said, no, Tara, this is not the right time to diet and lose weight. So everyone goes on a diet in January. Tara started eating in January, which was completely different. And everyone saying, oh, I was like, I'll do dry January with you, but I'm not doing any diets in January. So I had to fuel me runs. So I had 4 weeks of dialing it down. And it was really interesting because I'd never ran this distance before. I'd ran 42 kilometers lots of times, 15 times, but I'd never done 50. And it's one of those things where you're standing at the crossroads and you want to do it and you have to do it. And it's scary because you don't know. This is, outside your comfort zone. So, yeah, I just really had to get my fuel and hydration nailed down. And I almost got it right. I didn't get it right, but I almost got it right. And that's okay because I fueled with bananas, Jaffa Cakes, and jellies. So I had an emergency gel, which is precision. And I also used Tailwind. There is a packet of Tailwind that you put into your water, and there's electrolytes and carbohydrates in this. So I had made up 3 flasks. They were pre-made, the water flask, and I had them in my kit, in my little box. And the mistake I made was thinking that that was enough, and it wasn't enough because I flew through. My pacing and all was perfect. Donadea is great because, you have the box and you have all your kit and it's 5K loops. So you're going to eat at every 5K because you're stopping at your aid station. And it's really, really good because it forces you to, eat. So because of my breakfast that morning, earlier on, I'd had the oats and porridge and I took a bagel with me with loads of peanut butter. So I had my oats and porridge at 7 a.m. and I took my bagel with me in the car and I'm going to have that at 9 a.m. And I carb loaded Thursday. I had pizza. And then the day before I had pizza and prawns. So I knew my nutrition was locked in and I knew I had 2 hours of fuel in my body lining up to that start line. And it's really good because it's 5-kilometer loops. So first 5K went by, not a bother. Second went by, third kilometer. Now, normally I wouldn't start fueling until maybe 20K. But I said, no, I don't know. I've never done this distance before. So on the 5th or the third one, which is 15 kilometers, I had broken bananas into, pieces. So I said I had my first half of the banana, which was great. And I had my flasks, which I was drinking around the course. And in the flask had the carbohydrates and the electrolyte. So I have my first half banana there at 3. Went around again, had my
3
Jaffa Cake.
laps.
Yeah, 3 laps, which is 15K. So
Yeah.
10 laps on the course. So I started fueling on the third one. So then I went around another lap, which is number 4, and I had my Jaffa Cakes, which was great. And again, I'm drinking the electrolytes on the way around. Then the 5th one I went around, I had the other half of the banana, and this kind of went on and on and on until I got to maybe 7. And I had jellies as well, Haribo jellies as well. And then when I got to 7, which is 35 kilometers, I couldn't eat another Jaffa Cake or another banana. I was going, or another jelly. So I was going, okay, we need the emergency gel now, which is precision. And bear in mind, I've never taken gels. I don't take gels or anything. And people say, you shouldn't do this, and I say, people don't do anything. But I was like, okay, we'll have one. So I had the pouch of precision. I had 30, I think was it 90 grams in it. And I start with the precision gel on the 7th lap, which is 35 kilometers. I actually felt okay. It wasn't the fueling that got me. It was the dehydration. So the 8th one, I came back in, to my aid station. Irish Mountain Cardio had their tent up. Fair play to the lads. They allowed me into their tent. And I said to Mark, he says, how are you doing? You're doing great. You just have 2 more to go. And I says, Mark, my right leg, I can feel a cramp in it. It's coming on. So they took out, salt sticks and salt chews. And he said, Tara, it's probably too late now. He says, but just eat them and keep going. So took this old shoes, off I went and was struggled along for lap number 8. Number 9, no, the cramp got me. So I was literally run, walk, run, walk, run, walk. So I finished it and I finished in it in 5:10. So I was over the 10 minutes. But I reckon if I didn't have hit the issues with my hydration, and cramping is, you're depleted of salt. We
Yeah,
all
yeah.
know that. And I said to you before, this happened to me in Ibiza, like where I got a cramp and I just could not, felt like I couldn't go on. So yeah, lap 9, the beast got me. And I was doing great until then. So
But
it's
you
a
finished
learning
it.
100%. Oh, I was never not going to finish it. And I think, going into it, Pádraig, I had 6 weeks training and it was lashing, raining for the month of January. We had the wettest January, I think, on record, or the second wettest in Dublin since records began. So it was the hardest training block I've ever done in my life. It was very intense because it was so short and it was condensed. And I remember sitting in the car going, I know the wheels are, well, I remember sitting there at 9 o'clock in the morning waiting for, I was after collecting my bib and I was sitting in the car keeping warm. It was minus 2.5 degrees outside. And I just remember sitting there going, Tara, the wheels are going to fall off. I knew it was going to happen. And I think brave Pádraig is walking up to a start line knowing it's going to fall apart and continuing into that event or that race, because I knew at some stage it was going to fall apart. I had no idea when it was going to fall apart, but I knew it was going to fall apart. And I knew it was going to, I'd have to dig deep. But thankfully, it didn't happen until the 9th lap. That's when it got me. And it's a learning curve for me because I'll go back next year and I know 100% I need the precision 1500s, and that's what I need to do. So it was definitely my fueling. It was definitely like that got me through the first 8 or 9 laps. Because like I said, with a 6-week training block into a 50K, it's not ideal. It really, really isn't.
No,
And
but
the weather that we had was not ideal.
and
So
and did you find the laps monotonous?
did I find it? I think not. No. And it's really interesting you ask me that because I hate laps and I hate out and back routes. And everyone kept saying to me, mentally, it's challenging. Mentally, it's like doing those laps 10 times, 5Ks. I think that's why Donadea is people, think it's challenging because mentally, you have to keep going around. And I think once you get past 5, you're counting backwards. And that's what I
Yeah,
held on to. It's like, Tara, get yourself to 5 laps, And once I got to 5 laps, I was counting those, but I was going, right, 4, 3, 2, 1. So mentally, laps are really, really hard. But once you get over the halfway point, you keep saying to yourself, I'm going home. I'm
yeah.
counting back. That's how I dealt with the laps. And yeah, mentally, it does get into your head. And 100% on the last lap, it definitely got into my head.
And
Um,
when the elites are passing and it gets to a stage that some people must be on lap 9 when you're on lap 8 or 7, how
100%. I was lapped. I mean, I was actually lapped by Laura O'Driscoll, the winner, twice. So
oh,
fair play to
really?
Laura. Yeah, Laura lapped me twice. But, we encouraged her, and it's everybody is so encouraging
How do you know where you are then? How's the logistics of that worked?
because there's a finish line and you have to go over the finish line mat 10 times. It's a loop. So you're counting 1, 2, and each time you go under the finish line, you're counting that lap. And there's loads of people at the finish line. It's hugely supported. There's tents and everything. Like there's, people with their deck chairs and everything. It really is like a family affair, and the support is amazing. So every time you go under the finish line, do you know the finish line mat?
Yeah.
That's one lap. And you have to do that 10 times, And the thing with Donadea is there's like hills in it as well. So it's not a flat trail course. So it's kind of challenging. And I think the 10 laps makes it a bit more harder, but it's manageable. Like
Yeah.
I said to you before, how do you eat an elephant? You break it down into bite sizes. That's exactly how you do Donadea. You break it down into manageable bite sizes.
So with the real food running, obviously you had to cheat a little bit for Donadea, which is okay, and go precision. When you were on last, you talked about real food running, and we were kind of going, how does that work? I mean, obviously in Donadea, you had a box, but if you were going on a long run, how do you carry the food with you? Or let's start at the beginning. When you're training, like I know if I'm going out and I'm doing, let's say 15 kilometers, I might need just one gel or two gels maximum.
Okay. Okay.
How?
So this is interesting, right? So I know I can run 2 hours without any. If I fuel before, so if I have a pizza or if I have pasta, so say I'm doing my long run on a Sunday. So on Friday, I will have maybe a slice or two of pizza. Saturday is definitely pasta and prawns. I get up in the morning and I'll have a bagel, or I might have some oats or something like that. This I have 2 hours of running in me with that amount of fuel for the last 2 days. So
And
I
you
can get
and you know that because you've
because
trained.
that's why I'm trained. I
Yeah,
trained my body this way. So not everyone can go out and run 2 hours without fueling, but I can because I'm running so long that I know my body. So I have this whole ethos we spoke about before. It's like run and feel. Like I run to how I feel. I mean, I went out on was it Monday, and after running 50K, I ran at a 5:44 pace for 8.85 kilometers. Today, I ran a 10K at 5:55. So my pace always alters, and that depends on how I'm feeling. So I have trained my body to, you know, run. And there's a guy, he's an American runner, and he's a scientist as well. And he basically says that, you know, if you keep feeding your body throughout your run, your body is used to getting food all the time and it doesn't get depleted, so it doesn't learn how to run. I'm not going to say on empty, but it doesn't learn how to, use what's inside your body as fuel because
yeah,
you're constantly topping it up. So if you're constantly fueling your body with gels, you know, your body doesn't get the opportunity to use what it has. And people say, oh, you're using your muscle, you're using your muscle. You're not using your muscle. You're using what you ate, whatever fuel you put in your body last night or 3 hours ago. You're not eating up muscle. So I learned that a couple of years ago. I told you I couldn't. Years ago, I tried Cis and I tried high five gels and I tried a lot of them and they just made me really sick and really nauseous. So I guess my body has learned to run and to use the energy that I've given it prior,
yeah,
whether in the last 24 hours. So on New Year's Day, on the 1st of January, when I left my house to go out for a run, I was running on what I ate yesterday and what I had for breakfast. That is my fuel. But I'm well aware that there's a cutoff point, where I have to refuel.
yeah,
So it's using what I've already given it, and that's something that I've trained my body to do. So I'm very fortunate. Like if I go out to the waterworks and up and back with the dog, like that's 18K. I don't have to take anything with me except water. And I always have an electrolyte in my water. And it doesn't matter if that's in December or it doesn't matter if that's July. I always carry a water bottle because as I was saying, dehydration will kill your race quicker than fuel.
yeah,
And I saw that again. Like I learned that lesson again on Saturday. And the first time I learned that was in Ibiza. like 2023, I learned that lesson again on Saturday. If you are not hydrated with sodium and salt, your legs will cramp up and you won't be able to move, and that's the end of you. So I've learned these through experience, but I've also listened to what my body. I can tell you now, when I was on that last lap, I wasn't craving sugar. I was craving salt. I wanted a pretzel. I wanted a salted baby potato. And there was jellies on the course. I didn't want jellies, I didn't want a Cliff Block. But if someone had handed me a pretzel or a baby salted baby, I would have bit their hand off. So you learn to, you're more in tune with your body and what your body needs when you run with real food or real food. I think, personally, I think because I knew exactly what my body needed at that 9 lap. I wasn't able to give it to it. I didn't have a pretzel or I didn't have salted potatoes, baby potatoes. But that's exactly what I need. I couldn't have ate another Jaffa cake, or I could ate another banana. I was craving the salt. And I think that's the benefit of real food running. You know exactly what your body needs and what it wants.
So you can more or less go by carb loading and pre-fueling.
Yes,
You can do a half marathon without anything on course.
100%. Water, electrolytes. Yeah, that's it.
So then when it comes to a marathon, how long does it take you to run a marathon?
4 hours.
4 hours. So then you've hit the 2 hour mark. You've then 2 hours to fuel
Yeah, so
yourself.
with so in a marathon, it's kind of different. So I normally have like someone on the course. So if I'm doing Dublin, I'd have like someone in various spots, like they'd say Terry in your Milltown, and they would have the likes of Jaffa Cakes and bananas and stuff. Like when I was in Belfast as well, I'd have someone at various different spots on the course. So I'm very lucky I haven't had to carry anything. I think Barcelona, I did have to carry fuel with me, and that was a bit messy. But, you know, you just you learn to adapt.
And
I'm
how
not
did you?
I'm not an Olympian. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, I'm going out for the enjoyment of a porridge. I'm not going out to I'm never going to be racing for Ireland. So it's just important to me that I finish it, but I finish it healthy and I finish it fueled. So for Barcelona, yeah, I had what did I have? Do you know one of the packs? It's like it's not a hydration vest, it's a hydration belt.
Yeah.
And in the belt I had, do you know where you can get I have these little packs of things. They're like, I'll actually show you. So you have these, they're like, banana and apple. So they're like little baby foods.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
These are fantastic and you can eat them. You just take the top off them and you eat them on the way. And see these little things? They fit in my little belt.
So they're those little baby food pouches that you can get in
Yeah.
little Aldi, Duns, wherever.
Yes. 100%. They are amazing. So I love them. Okay. They're absolutely. And then it's bananas, but they're dried banana chips. Do you ever see them in little
Yeah,
packets?
yeah.
Them in Tesco's. So I carry little packets of them as well. I also carry dates as well, like little small dates. So I have that in my little, my pack. But I'm fortunate that that will do me, for the next 2 hours. So
And do
there was
you just go by feel still as you're going around? You're not, like I would be. I know one gel might get me 30 minutes, so I'm going to take it every 30 minutes. You don't go half a banana
I
is the equivalent to
know.
that.
Yeah, I'll chip away at it, but I know I've got a 2 hour window, so I know I have to start eating then. And from then on, it's little often. So the packet here, I wouldn't have the whole packet. I'm kind of dipping in and dipping out of it. So it's little often. I would take out some chips as well, the banana, the dried banana, and I'm constantly kind of grazing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Like if you take out a gel, the more than likely is you're going to take the top off the gel and you're going to, take the whole gel and you're going to throw it away or put the paper in your pocket or whatever, put it in the bin. That's not what I do. I'm grazing for the next 2 hours. Like I'm constantly fueling. So I'm constantly eating, for the next 2 hours until I finish. And with gels convert to energy almost straight away, really, really quickly. So you're getting that energy straight away from gels. But real food, it's a bit different. Your body has to digest it. So that takes a bit more time. And that's why I'm constantly grazing. And I'm not just having a banana and then that's it, just running for 20 minutes and then going, oh, I need to fuel. I'm constantly for the next 2 hours taking out bananas and eating.
Yeah, it's
So
funny because Connor from Alter Nutrition, which is it's a drinks mix. So he was similar. He's sipping away for the whole run. He's just
oh, no.
constantly. So
Yeah,
you're doing the same with real food then.
100% I'm doing. Like I said, I'll start fully loaded, fully stocked and loaded with carbs and hydration. So when I go to a start line, I know I've 2 hours in me, but I don't wait till 2 hours. Like if I'm doing a marathon, like it's probably around 18, 19 kilometers, I'll go, okay, now I need to start, just topping up the reserves. And then from then on, I'm constantly, constantly, constantly until I finish. And that was the strategy in Donadea as well. Like every 5 lap, every 5K, that's one lap. So every single lap, I ate something, and I was constantly drinking out of my flask on the way around.
So you carried water, drinks mix as
Yeah,
such,
yeah.
and then you were. So what are your go-to like top two or three go-to foods that you carry on a marathon with you?
Oh, the banana bits, 100%. And these like little small pouches with the baby food in it.
Yeah,
Um, I always Haribo, for a bit of sugar.
yeah.
Um, and what else? I'd have a few dates as well, but
So
mostly
where do you put the
bananas.
dates? Instead of sticky, messy
I,
things, huh?
no, I just wrap them up in a bit of cling film and I just suck them, as I'm going around.
And then afterwards, after a race, you need protein. And would you use shakes for that, or do you have a
Oh,
natural?
no, well, what I did was I had it's a kefir or kefir protein shake. So the minute I finished my race, okay, in my box, I had my recovery, one of these pouch. So I'm getting my protein in straight away. Like there's no messing with this. This is, the medal's on my neck and I'm straight down and I have the protein in me. And then by the time excuse me, walk down to the car, I have a recovery shake and with protein in it as well. And I have that pre-made up, by the way, in the car. Like you just have to have the powder. I just have to add water to it. So as I'm driving home, I'm drinking my shake in the car. Okay. When I get into the house, I'm going to get into the shower. So I have another protein shake. I'm in the shower. My bath is running with Epsom salts. And
Beat the
while I'm
absence.
in the shower, the bath is running while I'm in the shower, getting all the dirt off me. And I'm drinking my protein shake again in the shower. Then I got into the bath and I had my Epsom salts and my muscle soak, the Radoc muscle soak.
Yeah,
Sat, sat in the bath for 20 minutes, still drinking my protein shake. Got out of the bath, lay on the bed for about 10 minutes, got back into the bath again for another 20 minutes. Meanwhile, the chicken fillets were on the grill. Okay. And the rice was on the pan, the brown rice. So while I was in the bath, the chicken fillets were on the grill or the pan and the brown rice was on. And I did that. I did the bath twice with the Epsom salt. It was the same water. I just got out then I
yeah.
got back in. So then I had my chicken fillets and I had my brown rice. And that was on the Saturday. And then what did I do then? Yeah, then it was just chilling out, watching movies. I actually poured myself an electrolyte as well while I was sat up and watching TV. So I had a pint of water with an electrolyte in it. And that's really, really important because it's like getting the fluids back in you as well. Then the following day, I just had my bagel for my breakfast. I had a chicken roll and then I had a chicken curry. I thought I was going to sprout feathers by Monday. I was like, I'm going to grow feathers. But it works. Like that's religiously what I do. And like I said, I'm able to go and walk the dog on Sunday. I'm able to go out for a nice like recovery run because it's really important that you get that food back into your body. And I think the window for recovery when you stop running is 20 minutes to a half an hour. You have to get that recovery shake or protein in at that crucial stage. I think otherwise you're goose. So I'm very religious about recovery as well. And I'm very religious about me fueling. So yeah, like that's how I bounce back, I guess, so quickly. And a lot of people ask me like, how come you're not injured? Like like you can just go out and run. And I put it down to the recovery and to, eating really well. And I'd have broccoli as well. I had broccoli, I think, with the brown rice and the chicken. So I'm very good that way.
But listen, it's obviously a testament to the whole thing that you're able to do 50 kilometers, because that's a no mean feat. And that's amazing that you were able to do it. And I know you learn, and you're definitely going to do it next year.
I'm going back next year because, like I said, it was a learning curve for me. So I'm going back to the beast got me in the 9th lap. So I'm going back to conquer the beast next year. I have my early bird ticket already. But I have some stats for you that I'd like to share with you from the event.
Okay.
Okay. So 506 people signed up to Donadea. Okay.
Yeah.
122 of those participants were women. Okay. 376 started at the start line. 93 of them were women. Okay. 336 finished, of which 83 were women. So there's a huge disparity of women and men doing this race on a day and taking on the longer distances. So just encourage women to take it on and just to be brave. And that's really what I'd like, to say this evening to you, and to all your listeners. If you're a woman, the early bird is gone for Donadea, but I think in the summertime there will be new tickets released, and watch out for it and put your name into the hat. Be one of those 83 women or 8, whatever next year.
Go for 100 next year.
Go for 100 next year because more women need to be taken on these events. There was a lot of DNFs as well, as, I think.
Yeah, but they might come back next year as well.
Yeah, hopefully they will. Hopefully they will.
Listen, Tara, thank you very much. And we will encourage more women to enter next year. People to try the real food way as well.
Ditch the gels. I think gels are overprescribed, for running. There is alternatives.
Yeah, and you can always top up with gels, but try the majority.
What I did.
Yeah,
well, I did that. I 100% put my hand up in the air.
Yeah.
But that's a 50k race. You can run 20 kilometers yourself without needing gels or anything like that.
Brilliant. Thanks again for your time. Keep it real.
Take care, Pauline.
All right.
Well, best of luck.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And that was Tara Wilson from Women Who Run Ireland, a social media channel. I do hope you enjoyed that episode. I know I certainly did. Now, real food running isn't for everybody, nor is going a whole race on ultra nutrition. So next week we are going to have George from Precision Fueling on, and he's going to give us the story of how to fuel a race on gels. And then it's up to you to see how you want to adapt, or maybe have a little bit of all three. It's been certainly a pleasure having Tara on, and every time I speak to her, I have to say I get motivated to do things. Maybe Donadea is for me next year. Maybe I'll recruit my wife to do it as well to get those ladies' numbers up. So for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.